traffic, that always works well, demanding the tech giant cancel its contracts with ICE.
This is the price for business with ICE. This is the price for business with ICE.
Well, our next guest warning them not to threaten a company that employs Americans, while pointing out if it weren't for ICE, thousands of criminals would be walking those same streets.
Fox News contributor and retired ICE director Tom Homan joins us now with more. So, Mr. Homan, what is your reaction to these protests and strikes?
Well, I think it's ridiculous. I wish they'd read a book or study. Go to the ICE website, ice.gov, and see what ICE does. Do they really want to stop a company from helping ICE arrest thousands of child predators that prey upon children? They want to shut down an agency that have rescued thousands of children from these predators. Shut down an agency that has seized enough opioids in this country to kill every man, woman, and child twice. Do they really want to stop the agency that stops technology from going overseas in the wrong hands, like missile technology that kills our warfighters? Or the second largest federal agency on the Joint Terrorism Task Force, we prevent a lot of terrorists from coming to this country through visa security program. They arrested 127,000 criminals off the streets of this country last year. Not just illegal aliens, those that committed crimes against U.S. citizens. Right. And they want this company to stop working with us? Study the issue. If you want change, if you want to affect change, go to the hills of Congress and tell them to make change. But this is ridiculous. Study the issue. If you study the issue, you would thank ICE rather than vilifying them.
Well, Tom, I think that if you explained it to them like that, yeah, they'd say, no, we don't want criminal aliens on, here in the United States. But a lot of them know exactly what ICE does, and yet they still do that. So why do they do that? What is their political agenda?
Open borders. I mean, these people think people should be able to come to this country against our laws, which drives down wages, which causes, a strain on our social services, hospitals, schools. It makes no sense. I mean, the left is so far out of control on this issue, it makes zero sense to me. After 3 decades doing this, I'm amazed every time I see a report about let's shut down ICE, let's stop working with ICE, threaten companies that work with ISIS. I don't understand it, Steve. It's a world beyond me.
So, Mr. Homan, of course, California is in the news again as lawmakers there in the sanctuary state of California, of course, just passed a bill banning private prisons and some ICE detention centers. So, as you know, ICE has had a hard time getting local authorities there to turn over criminal aliens and hold them with ICE before they can go commit more crimes and hurt other people. But what does this mean in terms of fewer ICE detention centers in that state?
Well, it means it's going to blow up in their face. This is a pathetic attempt to shut down ICE in California, and it's not going to work. First of all, did California study this issue? That 72% of everybody in ICE detention are in detention because Congress mandates it. Federal law mandates they be detained. So ICE couldn't release them even if they wanted to. 90% of everybody ICE arrests is a public safety threat with a criminal conviction or pending criminal charges. And they want to shut these facilities down, the highest detention standards in industry, much higher than the state of California's detention standards. So what are they going to accomplish? They're going to move illegal aliens that get arrested. We're going to have to move them out of state, away from their families, away from their communities, away from the NGOs and the immigration attorney network that's there, put them in a lesser facility with less detention standards. It just doesn't make sense. And they're going to cause thousands of U.S. citizens be unemployed.
Well, but then, Tom, they'd be able to say, hey, look, we stood up to the federal government and look what we did. We shut down that place here in California.
At whose expense? At whose expense? The safety of the community that have criminal aliens run around, and at the expense of the illegal aliens they think they're protecting, they're putting them in a less facility out of state. They changed nothing. This is political theater, Steve. You're right. It makes absolutely zero sense.
Yeah, it certainly puts a lot of Americans at risk when there are criminal aliens running around in the streets. Tom Homan, thank you so much for your perspective, as always.
Well, thanks for having me.
It is exactly 6:30 right now.